We are
Why
now
don't run?
recording. Does anyone have any opening thoughts?
Um, I have many thoughts.
Do you? Can you
Yeah.
please share them with the group?
Um, well, you know what? I'm only going to share one, which is the title of this episode, unless you don't want me to spoil that.
Well, based on the fact that, the viewers will have seen the thumbnail and they will have clicked on the video, they probably already know. So
Oh,
I think you can share with the group if you want.
in that case, my main thought is surrounding poo gaming.
Um, so I think I'm going to do the intro, and
Okay,
what we can do after that is we can discuss who this elusive poo gaming is. How does that sound?
that sounds pretty swaggy, if
Okay.
I'm honest.
Um, Hello, dearest viewers. I am Hen, and my friends for today are. If you say poo gaming,
I'm not gonna say poo gaming.
are you not going
Come
to say
on,
poo gaming?
I
Okay.
look. I've got an established intro, but I'm not gonna ruin that. Not just for poo gaming. But I am TD, and I, in spite of the universe's greatest wills, still exist.
And I am Harvey Specter.
Fantastic. Now, why don't you share with us who poo gaming is? In what context you encountered poo gaming in the first place? And how you came to see this username in your travels throughout the
Um,
internet. It looks like
I think it's from Overwatch.
I was about to say it looks like it's from Overwatch's chat.
Hang on.
At
Let
first, I
me
thought it might be from Twitch or something, but it's Overwatch, I think.
It
let
is
me.
Overwatch.
If I go on the properties of the image, so it was created on the 3rd of July,
Yeah.
2021, at what I believe is 10:24 p.m. British time. That would obviously be British summertime, as
So
it
you're
was
getting this
during
through
July.
you're getting this
Through the metaverse
through
data.
the metadata of the image.
Yes.
I see.
This image is fully secure, according to Microsoft. It is 226 pixels wide
Well, you don't want
and 29 pixels high.
It's good that it's secure because you don't want the poo gaming to leak out, do you?
There are no previous versions of this image.
That
Now,
was the original.
yep. So what I'm gonna do is, back in the day, you could find someone's Overwatch profile if they had it set to public. So I'm gonna try and access that now.
And you're going to report to the group who poo gaming is.
I just
Yep.
think what they said is so profound. I feel like we need to discuss it.
Nuts D's.
Nuts D's, like that's deep, deeper than
Telekinesis.
telekinesis. Yeah.
Well,
But
nuts D's, because D's nuts is referring to these nuts.
mm,
Using a demonstrative, I think it is. No, it's not a demonstrative.
but
That would be some nuts.
are we saying in that context that the D's is supposed to be these? So
Yes.
this really is saying nuts these. So is this a commentary on the other team?
Nuts these. How would that be a commentary on the other team that these people are crazy? They're nuts.
Yeah,
I see. They've gone insane. They've lost it.
they've lost it. They've all gone Bastion.
They're in their they're in their Joker
I do
arc.
I
They're
do bring
already
bad news.
They're already Tracer. Yes.
Oh, hang on, wait. It's because I'm on the US version. Wait, if I
That was before Overwatch 2, though. Does it all carry over? It should
you
do.
see, that's what I'm trying to ascertain. If I try and go into the European servers,
Poo Gaming.
Poo Gaming.
Oh, but there's no players by that name.
Are you also looking?
Maybe they've changed their name. from Poo Gaming.
Excrement gamer.
Now, the difficulty. I am having difficulty in believing this because I've just searched my own profile, and while I haven't partaken in any Overwatch 2 really,
I googled Overwatch Poo Gaming, and it's returned me results for what language was Overwatch programmed in.
Really? I thought when you searched Overwatch, can't say it with a straight face. I thought when you searched Overwatch poo, it would come up something different.
Would it got some special categories on
I was about to say it might come up with who knows what
on TD's favorite website,
Yeah,
Poo Gaming.
the orange and black one.
Oh,
Poo Gaming's not a website; it's a username. We've been over this.
I think we should make it a website.
I think on the orange and black website, Poo Gaming could be a genre.
Well, if the Henjamin channel has a gaming channel on the site, I think it should be called Poo.
You see, I don't
Poo
exactly
Gaming.
trust the Overwatch player search functionality. I'm going to be honest, because I've just searched all of us, and none of us have
We
shown
don't
up.
exist. Well, it's actually been on in a while.
Other than Clark, who has a very common name on Battle.net. Sorry, Clark.
You want to set it as public as well. I think it defaults to private. So unless they've gone and set it to public, it's not going to come up anywhere.
Well, if you have such a mighty name,
I'm
as
not doing
Poo
it now
Gaming.
because I remember that I've forgotten my Battle.net login. So,
I think
should I see if
Yeah.
I can log in now?
no.
Good advice.
I think we should go on the orange and black website and see what comes up for Poo Gaming.
No.
I
Not
don't
do
think that
that.
would. Okay, yeah, my profile's private when I've gone on it manually.
Is it?
Yeah.
So Poo Gaming could be private. Maybe it's because they were getting so many requests for like collabs and stuff.
Yeah.
Collab with me, Poo Gaming.
Oh, hang on, wait. There's unofficial trackers.
Would you mean? Oh, what, like websites where you can see all of the usernames and whatnot?
Yeah.
I see.
Although. Oh, hang on. Wait. No, it's not.
I just looked at what is going to be the thumbnail of this podcast, and I just realised there was another GIF put in there that is very amusing.
Yeah.
It's the one of Eggman,
Oh yeah, with his
member.
with D's nuts out. With D's nuts out.
Oh,
I'm
hang
gonna
on.
kill
wait.
you, and then kill you again.
Poo Gaming is looking for improvements or a new casino.
Really?
Yeah, it's definitely not some AI generated scam website. Definitely not.
So you found a
The
website
only-
called Poo Gaming.
Yeah, yeah. PooGaming.com. Not sponsored. Because we don't take sponsorships from scams.
No, not
We
on
only
this
take-
channel.
We only take sponsorships from the best of platforms like Rise of Heroes. Get your hero to 5 billion
I have
power
over
today.
50 Rise of Heroes.
Yep.
Can't win, Freezer. I have over 50 power in Rise of Heroes.
What's everyone's opinions on Star Trek Fleet Command?
I have no opinion on it.
Hang on, is that the one that's been popping up in my YouTube adverts recently? The one
Probably.
that says, nice try, Bozo. Have a space fact. Did you know that stars are actually really hot?
I don't know.
Oh.
That's more depth than I've ever engaged with that with.
Look, YouTube adverts are going to YouTube advert.
Well, can we do
you know.
the Drake and Sonic podcast?
Oh, yeah. Hello, and welcome to the Drake and Sonic podcast. I'm your host, Sonic. Join today.
My name's Albert Graham.
And my third co-host is...
My name's Jeff.
Wow, thanks for the introduction. Yeah, so, okay, hi, Aubrey.
Hi.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Jay.
What about you, Jeff? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Good question. Depends which Jeff I am.
Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, Jeff Sessions.
I'll be in the Supreme Court.
Okay. Wonderful.
But just to begin with, do we have any news about me?
Well, I was thinking that we should start by discussing the news about me.
Actually, I do have some news.
Oh, the news about you, Sonic. What news about you?
No, sorry, quickly. I have some news about Aubrey.
You do?
Okay.
He brought up Eminem in his legal fight with UMG over Kendrick's diss.
He not only brought up Eminem, but he brought up Kai Cenat.
And also, this is a Vice headline. Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us isn't the first Drake diss nominated for a Grammy. Can you guys guess the other one?
It's got to be added on. It's got to be added on.
Is it the Pusha T one?
It's got to be Story of Added on.
No.
Not what?
Is it the Meek Mill? Is it the Meek Mill one?
No, it's a Childish Gambino song.
Oh, I didn't.
Gambino doesn't even do proper. Which album is it from, or which year is it from?
2018.
It's not.
I'm not that
it's
into
not.
Gambino.
Feels like summer, is it? It's not.
No.
I'm not that into Gambino. Should I be? Wait, I'm Drake. Fuck.
Yeah.
Drake. Drake, we know you're not into Gambino. We know what you're into.
Yeah, everyone knows what. No, okay, go on.
This is America.
Right, okay. Yeah, that's a Drake diss.
Funnily enough, however, the song started out as a bit of a tongue-in-cheek diss to Drake diss. This idea for the song started as a joke, to be completely honest, Gambino revealed in 2023. It started as a Drake diss, to be honest, as like a funny way of doing it. So
right.
There you go. So there you go.
Okay.
This is America wouldn't have happened without Drake.
Awesome. Aubrey, how do you feel about that?
Hurt.
But yeah, I mean, the fact that he's name dropping everyone. He name dropped Kai Cenat. He name dropped Eminem. You know, like I think there was a literal screenshot of Kai Cenat's reaction uploaded to YouTube with, this popular streamer got over 9 million views, and this is only on his YouTube, not even accounting for like the live whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, I mean, 9 million views isn't even a whole lot, is it?
So I think the question we should be asking then is who isn't going to get named?
I think Mr. Party. I don't think he's going to be named.
Mr. Worldwide?
Yeah, I don't think he'll be named.
I don't think he'll be named. No.
I don't think I'll be named. They like
Mr. Hands.
Mr. Hands.
I hope he's not named.
But what does he have to do with streaming numbers?
Mr. Hands.
Yeah.
I mean, he was doing numbers of something.
Well, he might have been. No, we're
some
not
kind
even
of
going.
number.
We're not even going into this.
Yeah.
No, I think this should end here, and talk about the Sonic news.
Yeah. So, I mean, how do you guys feel about my SD cards? You know, and the sizes of them.
I think no one will have any idea what you're talking about.
I think using SD card as a euphemism is quite niche.
No. We're not. We are talking about the official Samsung, I think.
Sonic the Hedgehog SD cards.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Samsung. You said that's so weird.
Look, sorry just because I'm Sonic the Hedgehog and English is my second
You
language.
said Samsung.
Yeah.
Samsung. What's your first language then, Sonic?
Hedgehog, obviously.
How do you say you're too slow in Hedgehog?
Well, it's a very
exactly.
visual language. It's a very visual language, you know. I need
You can't convey it
like
behind the
well,
microphone.
no, excuse me. Is sign language not language then?
Checkmate,
So-
liberal.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay,
That's
but is
what I
Hedgehog a spoken language at all?
Very few words are.
Uttered.
I have
Yeah.
a question. I have a question though. So does that mean that all hedgehogs speak the same language globally?
I can't reveal that information to
Oh,
you.
wait, does your language involve flossing?
I can't reveal that information to you either.
Well, you know, I've seen you floss before, so I assume that your
I've
language,
I've played these games before.
your language would have some aspect of that. I just assumed.
I mean, you may be onto it, but you know, I need to consult my hedgehog friends.
Okay.
Well,
the second, Sonic, well, not me, Drake, but the person who I just stole the microphone from a second ago when we started the Drake and Sonic podcast. The person that I stole the microphone from, played. Well, I mean, it's half your game, but it's also half Shadow's game.
I have a question.
Go on.
For you, Aubrey. So, in your mind, you and Sonic. Okay, let's say hypothetically that you and Sonic have just been both taking part in the Squid Games.
In Squid Games.
Yeah. Which round are you both going out on, and why?
Round 3.
There's no squids in the Sonic the Hedgehog universe.
I would say the things from Sonic Colors are quite squid-like though, in their appearance.
The wisps.
The wisps.
I think we would go out on the cookie cutting thing.
Do you reckon?
Because Sonic would eat them.
Oh, good point.
And Drake would eat them too.
But I think.
Yeah.
I feel like Sonic would get through that round because he's used his speed to erode the shape and cut it out.
Yeah, but he's known for speed, not precision.
True, good point. Because Sonic could make it through the glass round because he could just run across, couldn't he?
Yeah, he could go fast. But would Drake make it through that round? I don't know.
I don't think Drake would because I think Drake is quite clumsy.
He's a bit of a goober.
Well, I mean, remember when I fall too far, I don't actually die either. I just lose some rings, you know.
But Sonic, I was on a train of thought there.
Yeah. Sorry.
The person who I just stole the microphone from, played the game that is one half yours and one half Shadow.
Yeah,
and that person thought it was very good and really enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that
that person thought that, the Sonic team have never made a game that consistently good in quite a long time.
I mean, what can I say? I did some really good acting skills there.
That sentence makes no sense.
How does it make no sense?
Sonic team have never made a game this good in a long time.
Look, he's a rapper. Allow him some poetic license.
Yeah, I'm just twisting the words. You got to
let him do him some
Sonic
poetic
team,
justice.
It is the best Sonic game in a while.
Yeah.
And the person I stole the microphone from quite likes Sonic Frontiers, but it's a far from perfect game. It's got a lot of flaws.
What do you do in Sonic Frontiers? Is that the open world one?
You go fast.
Well, they kind of adapted a lot of the formula from sort of Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations, but they kind of added an open world to it. Okay. So it's sort of they made it kind of one interconnected level. I
mean, and all my friends, they got kidnapped and digitized, and I had to go and rescue them. It was a really tough time.
in the most recent update, you could play as them.
I'm glad my friends are getting to share the limelight. Unlike in the SD cards where poor.
Why do we have to go back to the SD cards again?
Because I'm upset that I only got half of Shadow's.
Well,
why does Shadow get 1 terabyte?
Well,
You
because
only got half of Shadow's SD card.
Well, because last year was his year.
Well, yeah, but that's so last year. It's 2025 now. People need to get with
but
it.
it probably released during his year, didn't it?
Hang on, I'm gonna fact check it.
But I just thought that Sonic X Shadow Generations had very consistently good level design, and the game was fun, and
No,
the stages weren't short and terrible like Sonic Forces. The game was good.
The announcement for the SD cards was on the 19th of December 2024, but they released for purchase in January 2025.
So, okay, well in which case my point is invalid.
Yeah. See, and look, man, I'm way faster than Shadow. Like ultimate life form, ultimate sucker.
But the thing is, though, Shadow in the package of the game that came out.
Your mum called me that the other day, TD.
He's not TD. He's Sonic.
Yeah, who are you talking to?
Sorry, Sonic. Your mum called me an ultimate sucker the other day.
Excuse me. The canonicity of the Sonic the Hedgehog mum character
doesn't exist.
Yeah,
It's
so
contested by law experts.
Yeah, sorry.
So where did Sonic come from if he doesn't have a mother? Is it like
owls?
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Have you not seen the films? He came from owls in the film.
I haven't seen the films.
Well, that's a real you problem.
Okay, maybe fucking Jeff Sessions, you should look at the thumbnail and what is to my top left ear. Huh?
What?
Big Sean?
No, top left ear.
The problem is no one listening to this is going to have any idea what you're on about.
It's an owl. There's an owl right on the thumbnail, right where I'm flossing. You idiot!
Oh, is that why you put that there?
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
Has the person that you took the microphone from seen the film?
I don't know. I'm running too fast right now. They can't catch up.
That means no.
Well then how did you know that...
Excuse me, Jeff Sessions.
How did you know that Sonic has an owl mum?
Because I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. Like I am.
No, but you didn't put that there, Sonic. How did you know? How did this person that you took the microphone from before the Drake and Sonic podcast started? How did this person know that Sonic, you have an owl mother? Did you just tell him?
I just whispered it in his ear, and he was so shocked that not only did he add that to the thumbnail, but that he willingly gave me his microphone, and I'm now running around with it.
So is Sonic's father Owl City?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Sonic came from an owl city.
Yeah, so anyway, Mr. Sessions, you live in Atro City.
I think that concludes the Drake and Sonic podcast.
Yeah, I don't... Aubrey, do you have any final remarks?
No, other than Sonic X Shadow Generations is a great game and not...
Thank you.
Someone who is not me thoroughly enjoyed it.
I, Sonic the Hedgehog, thoroughly appreciate the compliment. Jeff Sessions, you've been a pretty bad guest. Stop trying to ban lead. What am I saying? I'm just speaking too fast, Stop trying to ban weed.
Well, drug trafficking is an inherently dangerous and violent business.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're not going to be invited back on this podcast, Mr. Jeff Sessions.
Well, okay.
You suck, man. You suck.
Okay.
You suck. You're too slow. You're too slow. You got kicked out of government. That's how slow you are. You think of some of the slowest things. You've got snails. You've got government. You've got whatever,
Big the
and
cat.
you weren't Big the cat, and you weren't even quick enough to keep up with government. You're not even quick enough to keep up with me talking.
Sleepy Joe's pretty slow.
Yeah. Sleepy Joe's quicker than you. So
Listen,
yeah,
okay.
It's like Joe Biden wasn't even there.
I am not the Jeff Sessions my detractors have tried to create, okay? I am not a racist. I'm not insensitive to blacks, okay? I'm often loose with my tongue. I may have said something about the NAACP being un-American or communist, but I meant no harm by it.
Did you say that, Jeff? Jeff, did you say that?
Yes, because I certainly believe that improving our intelligence is of national interest.
Well, yeah, but as an Afro-Canadian, I find that very offensive.
As a hedgehog, I find you too slow. So, bye-bye. This has been the Drake and Sonic podcast. Sorry about the bad guest. We'll get another one, a better one on. Maybe we could bring back Drake Bell. He was pretty funny.
What about me, Aubrey Graham? How was I as a guest?
Oh, you're always great, Aubrey. You know,
thanks.
As my main co-host, you gotta love it. Right.
I'm gonna go back to cell block 1 now.
I'm gonna give this guy back his microphone and then continue to
me too.
to run. You're too slow.
Thanks for listening to the Drake and Sonic podcast.
You're too slow.
I'm a big fan of the DEA.
Wow, that was another great episode of the Drake and Sonic podcast. So Sonic,
I mean, last time I sort of I think I was drugged last time, and someone came and took my microphone. But this time I did it voluntarily. I was just like, you get on with what you need to do, and you discuss whatever you need to discuss, and I will, just pull myself out of the way for you.
Look, when you're approached by a blue anthropomorphic hedgehog, you just just take whatever you want, man.
Well, if I refused Drake, who knew what he was going to do to me?
Yeah, I mean,
we've seen the allegations,
but you're not a girl, so you should be safe.
True, but he's unpredictable.
Yeah. One thing that Sonic did whisper in my ear just before he departed was he's really upset that in the people mentioned section he never comes up. And he would really petition YouTube.com to allow him to be in the people mentioned section.
I think that's an anti-hedgehog policy, really.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they can discuss it if he doesn't appear on this one.
True, actually, maybe.
Just quickly, Ben, is Aubrey still in the room? Because I'd like to know Aubrey's opinion on the room.
Aubrey is gone, but I can tell you my opinion on the room.
Go ahead.
Well, I watched the film last week, and just such a good watch. It's been a few years since I've seen the film, but there's just so many excellent moments throughout that I forgot about,
Such as?
Well,
Jeez,
there is...
Enlighten us with some examples.
I mean, the film opens with, "Hi, babe." And it's like, what does she say? She's like, "I got you a gift. Oh my God, Johnny, it's beautiful. Anything for my princess." It opens really well.
It sets the scene.
And the whole Chris R scene.
Chris R?
That is tough, I also...
It's tough to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, that's hard because, he's doing drugs.
Yeah, and everyone knows that drugs are bad.
Feel bad. You feel a strong emotional attachment to Denny and his plight.
Well, I mean, because I forgot how long and intrusive the love scenes in that film are, and Denny walks in on one at the end. He feels very comfortable around Johnny and Lisa.
Because does he leave?
No, he doesn't. He just goes in.
Well,
he goes and finds the cuck chair to sit in.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't he try to join in at some point?
Well, he's like, "I just like to watch you guys."
Yeah. God, it's been been a while since I saw that audio visual experience.
When
And
was the last time you saw it?
do you know
It was,
what, TD? That's the first time I'll agree with you using that term.
it was probably
Because
at
it is an audiovisual experience.
it was probably at my parents' house when everyone was round.
Was the last
That
time,
time.
we saw it?
Was it for the funeral?
No. I don't think we've had a funeral at mine.
Okay.
Well, at my parents.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the whole ending of the film, like the party, where he's like, "Don't touch me, motherfucker." It's like, it's so good. And then he throws the TV out the window.
Like, it's high drama, high
It's
stakes.
high drama. And then she's like, "Johnny, come out now." And he's like, "In a few minutes, bitch."
Now,
That's good.
Could
like
you imagine a world where it was actually a good movie? You know, obviously, it's never going to be the most high budget.
What are you saying?
Oh no, so like a critically good movie. You know, obviously,
Well,
it's very near and dear.
I mean, the thing is what's kind of interesting now is that Tommy Wiseau has played it up as if, like, you know, he said, "Oh, the film is like supposed to be a kind of black comedy," which obviously isn't true. Like, I think it's because the reason it's funny is because it's obviously trying to be a drama that's taking itself really seriously and has zero self-awareness, which is, you know, why it's funny. So I just feel like, so you're saying, what if the film like worked as a drama?
Yeah, like it adequately portrayed the tragedy. Like,
would it be like Marriage Story or something?
Is that the Adam Driver?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I just try to think of like a relationship related like drama. Well, I feel like the whole appeal of the film is that it's bad. If it was if it was a good drama, then I think it would have a following for completely different reasons. So I think it's hard to say, you know.
I feel like if it was a more professional production, it would be less notable. It would just be like a normal, like average, like, oh, guy that works hard gets cheated on by his girlfriend.
I think it's
kills.
Like the story itself isn't what makes it funny though. Is it not more the performances? It's like the
exactly, but like if the performances weren't as good, the story is not strong enough to support it.
Well, but it's also the script that is funny. You know, like he goes into the flower scene when he's buying flowers, and like it's just a non sequitur of like reality.
There are some scenes that are like nonsensical, but I'm more talking in terms like the overall plot is not funny in and of itself, you know.
It's the wooden acting, I think.
It's the wooden acting and like the odd scene that contribute nothing to the story.
Well, and the like when they get bored, they just toss around American footballs, you know.
On the roof.
Oh yeah, on the roof.
Yeah, like I think in order to actually make it a critically good movie, and I'm using air quotes there, like not only would you have to rework the actors, but also rework the script quite considerably.
But I don't think you'd have to rework the overall plot though. Like the plot at its core.
So
you just need to make it like you just need to make the actual fallout of the relationship like convincing and dramatic. I guess would be the only way. Like I could see in my head that script being okay. The script couldn't be salvaged, but the overall plot could be salvaged.
Well, you'd also need to remove subplots of like Lisa's mum dying of cancer.
But you could
Is-
you could quite easily remove that.
I got the
Yeah,
results of the test back. I definitely
like,
have
It's
breast
never brought up
cancer.
again. Never brought up
yeah,
again.
like either that or you fully develop that into a subplot of like maybe that's why Lisa cheats. You
Oh
know,
yeah, because she wants to like, hide from the pain
of her
watching
mum.
her mother. Her mother said it best herself. Like, nobody cares about me, and I'm dying.
um, or it could be to try and like they could bring in some commentary about like healthcare of like she has to sleep with the doctor in order for the doctor to treat her mum.
Oh, holy
Like,
shit!
you know,
And then Johnny gets angry about that, but she's like, "But I had to do it for my mother."
because otherwise she's gonna die.
And Johnny's like, "You
see,
betray me! You betray me!
Betray me.
You're
But
tearing
obviously-
me apart, Lisa."
obviously Mark in this universe would have to be a doctor, you know.
Oh,
hi,
you think
Mark.
so? Mark is treating Claudette. Is that
Yeah.
the new? I like this. This is like an alternate the room
Yeah.
where you like make. But I think in order to make this film good, you'd need to make like Johnny a different kind of character. So how would you change him to sort of make the drama believable?
Now, like it feels kind of sacrilegious to do this, but I'd first have to recast him.
Who would you cast into the role? I think you could keep Greg Sestero. I think it would work, if he was like a serious doctor.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of the cast could stay apart from Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, Wiseau is just not a strong enough actor to portray
it's not quite
a paragon
salvageable.
hero who then becomes tortured into the point of no return.
Yeah, I agree.
Who? The first name that popped into my mind is Aubrey Graham. But that's not gonna. Words. That's not really a well-known actor, is it?
Aubrey Graham.
Yeah.
Has Aubrey Graham ever appeared in a film?
He's been in a Disney Channel like
TV show. Yeah.
It's called like Degrassi or something.
I don't think The Rock would work because that's the next thought that appears in my head. It has to be someone with like nuance.
Someone with nuance.
Yeah.
What about OJ?
No. OJ's too tall. He
He's
can't
too much
be
of a big guy.
Yeah, he's too tall. He's like he exudes too much like
Warwick Davis?
power.
Warwick Davis. I think you need someone who could really ham up the performance. Maybe like The Rock.
I said The Rock, but then I was like, no, that doesn't.
John Travolta.
Oh,
What about
a young Tom Cruise. I think Tom Cruise would actually be perfect.
Tom Cruise as Johnny?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, didn't Tom Cruise do something like when he was like the "You Complete Me" or something? Was that Ashton Kutcher?
No. Okay. First off, we should all actually shut up. It's obviously Nick Cage.
Oh, you think? I actually think Nick Cage could make it work because he'd have that kind of eccentric vibe at the same time.
Yeah. It's obviously
or maybe
Nick Cage.
like Willem Dafoe.
Yes. Yeah. Or him.
Someone like that.
No, because you remember the stories about. Because obviously there's some nudity scenes in the film. We've all heard the stories about what Willem Dafoe's packing. I don't think anybody would want to see that because you just put everyone to shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that Nick Cage film that he did recently where it's just him playing himself?
He plays himself in every movie, which
I don't know.
No, it's with Pedro Pascal. And it's Nick Cage playing himself, and they go to
Oh,
his house, and all of his stuff from all his other films is there. Like the Ghost Rider stuff is all there. Nicolas Cage.
the unbearable weight of massive talent.
That's the one. That wasn't even that bad, actually. That was a decent film.
Yeah, because Nick Cage, he'll say yes to anything. I
He's
think,
like he's
I
like the
think it's
acting equivalent of Snoop Dogg.
yeah, but I think it's more of his like just artistic like whatever. You know, he'll be like, as long as they're paying him a decent amount, he just believes in the art form, no matter what the quality of the thing ends up being.
What was that Snoop Dogg Martha Stewart thing all about? I never saw it.
It was about I swear they promoted pens together.
They promoted pens. What do you mean?
Bic pens.
Oh, okay.
Big pens.
Bic camera pens. Bic the Munchkin camera pens.
We don't speak about big camera here.
Oh no, sorry, Bic lighters. My bad.
Oh,
What was your favourite
Because
thing in
it's
big
perfect
camera?
for candles.
They don't sell
and
many
more.
cameras in there.
so what was your question? Sorry.
What was your favourite thing in big camera?
Hmm.
Not many cameras.
I would say my favorite thing in Bic camera was still probably the 1001 bizarre Chinese items that you could find.
What about the fax machines? Did you see those?
I did quite enjoy the fax machines. That was like a blast from the past. But
Yeah, they're great. They still.
That's how
use them.
North Korea sends its threatening letters nowadays.
That's how Japanese business functions in 2025.
mm,
And apparently, how
So,
the Japanese
if there are-
government documents function as well.
If there are two people who are using the fax machine, it's a Japanese businessman and Kim Jong Un.
And the Japanese government, because nothing is digitized apparently.
I love that. I love that.
It's interesting.
You know,
There's a if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of mentality.
I respect that.
Mm.
you got to respect that.
Exactly.
What kind of voice are you doing?
I don't think
There's a thingamajig. There's a popular audio clip of someone saying you got to respect that in like that kind of accent, and
You
I
gotta
just copied
respect
it.
that, like that.
You got to respect that.
I don't think I've
Yeah.
heard of this.
I don't know where it's from.
Should we move on to another topic then?
Should we?
Should we? I've already had one.
Well, speaking of we and P for peace, let's talk about an incident that really sparked off a lot of peeing and pooing for peace.
Did someone depose the crown of urination?
The events of September.
What's urination?
The events of
You know, urination is it's a very hidden nation.
Is this
that
about
not-
not
Barack
many people know
Hussein
about it.
Obama?
Is urination not the name for Brendan Urie's fan club?
No.
Wait, is it really? That's so dumb.
No, you
If it's
see,
not, then it should be.
Every single pop punk lead singer does what Drake does.
But anyway, let's discuss the original P/Poo for peace catalyst, the events of September 11th, 2001.
Tragic.
Notably,
Can't believe that happened.
the absence of a key political figure at the time, Barack Hussein Obama. Where was he? What was he doing?
I think. Can I begin with my conspiracy theory?
Go ahead.
So everyone's like, oh, Barack Hussein Obama was born in Kenya, right?
hmm
I disagree. I think he was born in Afghanistan.
Ooh.
And what he was doing is he was training the Taliban,
The Mujahideen.
the Mujahideen, who the US was supporting in the 1980s.
Yeah.
he was there. He was a mujahideen, and he was training the mujahideen to do 9/11. And because he received American support, he just got US citizenship because that's how that works, and then he became the president.
In like a quid pro quo.
Yeah, it's a psyop.
He was like,
you know.
he was like, I won't tell anyone about what I did in Afghanistan if you make me president.
Yeah, exactly. It's all a big deep state cover up.
And Orange Man is going to release the facts.
Well, yeah, because I think this is all part of Hillary Clinton's cabal.
Exactly, because the cabal was set up at the same time. That's how they coordinated it.
So what does but if the cabal are acting in the name of Satan, how does that explain someone like Obama?
Well, I think actually this goes further back than we think right now, because Orange Man is about to release all the documents about the assassinations of JFK and RFK, and
he's about to expose the entire deep
MLK.
state for what it is.
It was very dangerous.
MGK as well. He got assassinated.
Very dangerous in the 60s to have a 3-letter abbreviation for your name that ends in K.
LBJ.
No, Johnson wasn't murdered, you silly.
Yes, he was. He was murdered by Obama.
He was murdered by the size of his Johnson.
MGK as well. He's going to be murdered.
Youngblood. I think those documents are going to reveal that there was more than one shooter on that day in Dallas, Texas.
Really?
I think those documents are going to reveal that.
I think they're going to reveal that on that grassy knoll was a certain BHO.
But was Obama flying one of the planes?
No.
Because then he couldn't be president afterwards, could he?
He was in the air traffic control room.
Orchestrating the attack. What other politicians
I
involved?
think they're not actually going to reveal that the second shooter was Barack. I think they're going to reveal that the second shooter was trying to cover up the existence of urination. Because I've done extensive research.
Is urination a country?
Now the closest thing to a country that existed that kind of sounds like urination is the Erie Nation that bordered on the Iroquois Confederacy. One of the Native American Indian nations.
Does this have anything to do with the Finno-Korean hyperwar?
What the Finns have declared war on the Koreans?
No, it's an ancient war between the Finnic Khaganate and the Huan Korean Empire, and it happened before Jesus. You telling me, Chris, you don't know about the Finno-Korean hyperwar?
What do you mean by hyperwar?
I've
never heard of the term hyperwar.
Because it's a war fought on land, space, black magic, incantations.
Oh, of course, the Osmandite Huan Battle of Doggerland and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that.
Now you reminded me. I remember it.
And I wonder, which side was Obama acting in the interests of? I think it could be the Korean Empire.
I think, actually, now that I think about it, the war on autism that was led by Mr. Shit in Finland, I think that's how Obama learned his trade. He researched that.
Well, you see...
You have the war on autism, the war on terror, the war on drugs. It's all linked.
The war on autism was started by the Korean Huan Empire because there was a curse of autism placed on the Finnish people. Chewbacca. And now they are all autistic.
Now, I think because I've done more research, and I think that not only is urination potentially Atlantis, but it potentially had a reach as far as Mu, the lost continent.
As far as Mu.
So and because
I was
and if
I
you
was waiting for that to come, by the way.
and because if you like really think about it, you know, when they both were taken outside the ice circle of the flat Earth that it's theorized that we live upon, um, like urination
It's
is
not a
actually
theory.
a hyper advanced civilization. And I
Hillary
think
Clinton.
that urination not only ended the Finno-Korean hyperwar, but also sent one of its soldiers, one Barack Hussein Obama, to track progress on
We
the
Attacks.
world within the ice wall.
So what you're
So,
saying, it's not an inside job. It's not an outside job. It's like a temporal, multi-dimensional job.
oh yeah, yeah.
orchestrated by Brendan Urie.
I see.
No, Brendan, you get Brendan Urie out of your head. I know you love Panic at the Disco or whatever.
Should I urinate Brendan Urie out of my system?
Never
Yeah,
ever say that again.
yeah. I think you should go to. You should blow your nose. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there you go. I've uncovered the real truth.
Okay. What conspiracy theories does everyone have about the Switch 2?
Um,
Um,
I think it will still be chronically underpowered.
I think they got rid of the clicky, where you put the Joy Cons into the system, so the port thing breaks, and then you have to buy a new one.
That is a good shout.
I
No.
think
Think of their
its
money making
entire
enterprise.
I think its entire existence is actually a myth dreamed up by the Reddit mods who were constantly saying they have a trusted source that the Switch 2 is coming. And so they managed to keep it going so long, despite all of their theories being completely made up, that they actually gaslit Nintendo into thinking that there was a Switch 2. And then when someone found out that they weren't developing a Switch 2, they were like, guys, where's all the Switch 2 stuff? Because I clearly see that some dude on Reddit believes that that there's a Switch 2 coming. And
Is
so,
this is the first Nintendo console that's actually got like a direct.
no, the Wii U.
The Wii U.
No, because the
Wii
Wii U
U.
is not called the Wii 2, is it? I'm saying this is the first Nintendo console where it's literally like a sequential
I
thing.
guess.
Well, yeah, but the Xbox went from the Xbox to the Xbox 360.
And then
Um,
Xbox
It's only
720.
really Sony that does that.
it's only really, yeah, like,
Well, conspiracy theorists say that the Switch 2 will be about as powerful as a base PS4.
Which I think is not enough.
Isn't the Steam Deck only a bit better than that?
But the Steam Deck gets away with it because you can play those games in much higher resolution on an actual PC. It's not like the primary source for
The only way
not
that you
primary,
can play those games.
Yeah, it's not the primary medium. Whereas the Switch 2 will be the only way you can play Switch 2 games.
But don't you think Nintendo have proved that even with the hardware on the base, the Switch 1, they can get a lot out of what they have?
But I would say that they really push. I think that Tears of the Kingdom demonstrated that's the limit.
Yeah.
well, I mean, wasn't there quite a big backlash against the trees for all of the Pokemon games? Like, everyone was like, "Oh, these trees look like I could have drawn them when I was 7 or something."
Well, yeah, but that's a Game Freak developed game, not Nintendo.
Well, yeah, but it's still demonstrating some of the limits of the system, because it's not hard to draw trees. And you just ask Bob Ross,
Well, I don't really agree with that, because I think that was partially people's point, though, with because I think what you're saying was something that people criticised about Sword and Shield when they came out, right?
I thought it was the Legends Arceus one as well, although I could be
Maybe,
completely
but
cutting out of
I
my
remember it being mainly a thing with Sword and Shield because people were saying, oh, they look like N64 trees or something.
They were quite ugly.
But part of the argument there was that there have been much nicer looking games on the Switch compared to Sword and Shield when those games came out. That was kind of the whole argument.
Right.
That, Breath of the Wild looked better, Dragon Quest XI looked better than those games.
I think the prettiest game on Switch is still Mario Odyssey, though.
Yeah, because with Mario games, Nintendo can just work some kind of magic where they look fantastic and always run at 60.
I mean, when I installed Rocket League on the Nintendo Switch, it was noticeably worse than the platform that I had been using to experience that game beforehand.
Could you just for the viewers, so they can make a comparison in their minds? What platform was that?
I forget. I think I had it both on Xbox and my computer.
Oh, I see.
So you're saying it looked considerably worse than Xbox One?
Yeah.
I see.
So, but maybe because that's not Nintendo developed something.
I have no doubt that Nintendo will be able to squeeze a lot of power out of that and make very good looking games. Because the current Switch is like a bit better than an Xbox 360 or something.
Yeah, I'd say that.
But with this Switch 2, I have no doubt that they'll be able to make good looking games on that hardware. It's just third party developers, I think, will be the problem because that's very behind where those games are at now.
Isn't that always somewhat the case with Nintendo, though? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, because
not always, but since the Wii, yeah.
But like when people talk about the very famous games and like I think I'm biased with my N64 knowledge because I've got one. And the only games that I've played on the N64, I think like 90% of them were Nintendo created. But
the N64 was much more powerful than the PS1, for example. The only sort of drawback it had was that it loaded games on cartridges versus discs.
Right.
Which back then couldn't hold as much storage as a disc could.
Okay.
So you couldn't fit as much. Like, for example, I think Final Fantasy VII was supposed to be on the N64, but Square couldn't fit the game on a cartridge.
Did you not just have cartridge 1, cartridge 2, or is that not how it works?
Maybe that's not how it works.
I don't know.
And I think it's also that cartridges are very expensive.
Computer science person, do you know how this works?
I think it would have more to do with the price of the cartridges versus a disc.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, is that the Switch 2?
What do you think about Mario Kart 9, TD? You should talk about what you think about Mario Kart 9.
I think its existence is not necessary, personally.
Why? Why do you think this?
Because Mario Kart 8 has been so definitive and so all-encompassing, like that further iteration is not needed.
But does Mario Kart 9 not offer the opportunity for new features to be, or new unique maps and things to be created?
Yeah, but so does Mario Kart 8. They didn't have to stop the DLC when they did.
Yeah, but it might be that Mario Kart 9 uses like a new engine to support having more karts at one time.
And it's like going to be
Well,
a much
yeah, but
better looking game that they can like increment on going forward.
yeah, but Mario Kart 8's graphics aren't particularly outdated, are they? You know, still hold up.
Well, it could look better though. You know, it is a now 11 year. What did I say? 15. An 11-year-old game, which is an age in terms of graphics.
Yeah, but like lots of people like old games, and as I said,
Right, but
the thing doesn't. It still holds up. It doesn't need specific. Like I don't. People aren't getting bored with the current game and stuff, and like there's always changes that you can make to the current game without having to bring a new one in.
but is
Like
your argument though, TD? Are you saying that you think that they should port Mario Kart 8 to a third generation of console?
yeah, and they should give it to everyone for free.
Do you not think
Wow.
people want like a new Mario Kart with like new maps and new character designs and stuff? I think people would think that's cool.
Maybe, but like
I think
if people are happy with the status quo, why bother changing it? You know?
I think a lot of people want a new Mario Kart because Mario Kart 8 has been like the default Mario Kart for over a decade now.
People get bored of it.
People get bored of it. People want new.
Well, yeah, that's why you can continue adding like DLC and stuff like that.
But then it's still the same game at its foundation though. I think people want like a new foundation.
Well, then people should buy another video game. Then you know they should buy. They should download Rise of Heroes
But people
and
want Mario
get
Kart.
5 billion power.
They don't want Rise of Heroes. They want Mario Kart.
Well, then
Maybe they could download a new game called Mario Kart 9.
You know, you were saying like Assassin's Creed is a good series,
a good franchise.
a good
Assassin's
franchise.
Creed Sorry, this is a donkey reference, which I feel the need to stress.
But they make a new Assassin's Creed like every year, don't they?
Yeah, well, that's because it's Assassin's Creed and it's a good franchise.
Are you insinuating
Mario Kart's not a good franchise?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that Assassin's Creed.
What's the implication here?
Well, no, because Assassin's Creed is such a good franchise. And it's such a story-driven, good franchise. like it's the story that's driving the franchise. Like there is no story in Mario Kart. What's the story in Mario Kart?
It's not really story-driven, no.
Right, exactly. So because Assassin's Creed is such a good franchise.
No, there is a story behind Mario Kart. I'm sure of it.
I don't think it's as deep as the deep story of Assassin's Creed, given that it's such a good
with
franchise.
the Animus.
Yeah, Gay.
and Assassin from Assassin's Creed.
The assassin.
Like he comes back every game. Every game he's there and he assassins people. You know, it's great, and that's why it's such a good franchise. But they tell different stories about how he assassinates them. Like didn't they cause quite a bit of controversy by setting their next Assassin's Creed in Japan, and the assassin this time he's coming back as a gentleman with darker skin.
Why was that controversial? Because I can add some context as, you know, a like weeaboo Japan enlightened white person.
Yeah.
You know, as someone who should be an authority on Japan more than Japanese people, I think.
Yeah, you know. You clearly know their culture better than you.
Because I protect the culture. Well, apparently it's like I don't know if I'm wrong about this, but I think the whole like story is like based on a true story. Like it's based off I think like a African slave who was, you know, like traded around by I think the Portuguese, and he was brought to Japan on like a Portuguese ship, and he like I don't quite know how, but he became like a samurai. Like his name was Yasuke.
Yeah,
Yasuke.
he was born. He was
Yasuke.
born at roughly 1555.
Does it say Yasuke?
Yeah,
Yeah, so like I think it is a real story. So why are people angry about that?
because because they the cultural backlash against DEI and everything that relates to it right now is at its height, and I think we're seeing that with quite a
I
lot
think
of.
it but I think it depends on the context that you use that kind of stuff. You know, if it makes sense in the context, I don't see there's a problem with it.
Yeah, you might not see the problem, but it's like it's the same as if they set it in, present day France, and you happen to be, someone from an Algerian background, right?
Uh-huh.
Obviously these people exist in France, and I'm sure there are very interesting stories to tell, but this culture of backlash against DEI would probably be like, oh, you, and because at their core,
Mm-hmm.
they're racist, you know.
Well, I
They could.
think it
I think
depends if it serves a function in telling that story. If it's just there
that's. I
for
think that's
no
where it
good
comes from
reason, then it feels a bit ham-fisted. I agree.
because people have been waiting for a Japanese Assassin's Creed for so long. I think people were upset that they viewed it as polluting that story. It's like, oh well, we wanted a Japanese game, and yet we feel like you're diluting the setting somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sucks to suck. It's such a good franchise that they should shut up.
Exactly.
Like, but if people are like that needing like a Japanese setting, like isn't there like Ghosts of Yotai or something coming out? That
It's not the same.
Yorte.
is it not? Is it? I thought it was equally made by Ubisoft or
No,
someone.
Ghost
No,
of Ghost of Yote is Sucker Punch.
okay.
But I think with like diversity, inclusion stuff, I'm okay with it if it makes sense in the story. If it doesn't make sense in the story and it's distracting, then I think it's silly. But if it doesn't,
If it's
and
just
it
like there for the sake of like, oh, we've got a black guy in our game, it's like, okay, well,
well, I
yeah.
think it's only a problem if it conflicts with the setting. Like if you've got like I don't know, like
I think it's a problem if
diversity in like medieval Europe. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well,
conflicts with the setting.
You would have some diversity
yeah, but
in
if
terms
it,
of you'd
if
have.
it still would feel more shoehorned in than if it was like if you're playing like 800 CE Britain, and it's like, okay, your main character is I
A
don't know,
black
like
person.
a black person and an Arab. It's like, okay, well, are
You
these
know,
people
it
here
makes
for
less sense than if you're making a game about modern Britain. Yeah.
Mm. I don't know. I think the one case where I did agree with it were the backlash was the Netflix Cleopatra thing, because you know Cleopatra was from a Greek dynasty, and so she probably would have looked Greek,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah, I remember that.
hiring someone who did not at all look Greek for that role is like, well, you kind of.
It's not historically accurate, is it?
Yeah. At the same time, lots of these things get such a backlash because the rather nasty communities will foster that backlash,
Mm-hmm.
and then like bring it to the to the
mainstream.
good faith communities. Yeah, the mainstream.
That's true. Yeah, I do think
And
that's true.
then because like while some of the mainstream might have called it out, because there's already such a backlash, it just encourages bandwagoning against it. I think there was a interesting YouTube video I watched on it. I think the title's called like Sacrificial Trash. I forget who it's by, but
I think it is a
it's
case. I think
worth
it's
a
a
watch.
case by case basis for all of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Personally.
Look, I think it's worth a watch, and it's worth yeah, maybe discussing it after I've rewatched it. Oh, speaking of things that we discussed in the last episode, a little update on what people call design technology from outside the UK.
When did we discuss this? I
Yeah,
don't think I remember.
yeah, because our compatriot called himself DT.
Oh, oh yeah, DT. I remember now.
Yeah, it's called like wood shop in the States.
Wood shop.
Yeah, or something like that.
That's
Yeah, or
completely
like
different.
woodworking, or like
A woodworking would make sense.
yeah, or wood shop, or so. Like I think there's a bit of internal variation as well.
Really?
So yeah,
Thanks for sharing.
See, we follow up and research.
There's continuity in the Hen and Friends podcast.
Yeah,
and that is something you won't get anywhere else.
Yep. But yeah, so that's why Assassin's Creed is a good franchise.
It's a good franchise because it promotes diversity and inclusion. And who doesn't like that?
It tells a story.
It does.
Yeah.
A black guy samurai in Japan. That is a story, and the game sure is telling it.
Well, it's the same assassin. You know, he goes around and assassins people. He just takes on different forms.
He just happens to be black.
Yeah, everyone loves assassin.
It means anyone
From
can be an
Assassin's
assassin.
Creed.
Anyone can be an assassin.
Yeah.
Or is there only one assassin?
Now, I think if you look at the early games, they have like a whole order of assassins.
They do.
So I think the message is that anyone can be an assassin. Because obviously, in order to be a good franchise, you need to have that kind of messaging.
And you need to tell a story.
Yeah, and you need to tell a story.
On that bombshell, should we move on to what I think should be the next topic?
Go on.
Well, we discussed this off camera.
Oh no, Jesus, no.
Off. It wasn't off camera, like while not recording. And I thought it might be interesting to discuss it once again while we're recording.
Ooh.
Do we want to go? Here? Because I think it will be interesting to discuss.
I don't have my laptop out at the moment with all my sources.
I mean, you're welcome to prepare, or we can do this. We don't have to do this now.
I think we could do that the following episode, because I've had a busy week this week, and
you don't have your points together.
No.
I mean, well, I don't know. I think we've covered most of. I mean, that was kind of what I was planning as one of them, but
as the end topic.
Well,
there's a particular salute that I see is also on the document.
I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind discussing that.
And then there's TD surprise topic, which I think will nicely tee us up for the discussion next week. We can continue that continuations.
Okay, so this little bit is a teaser for next week.
Yeah, but first I think we should discuss a certain salute / what was loving to the crowd or whatever.
Yeah, I don't mind. So you want to discuss this for a bit, and then you've brought a surprise topic.
I have.
I see.
You know.
Well, I mean, I'm in two minds, because it's like, why would you do that? Like, I'm sorry, I'm dying. Like, in what context would you think it would be, you're up on a stage in front of a lot of people? In what context would you think, yeah, I'm going to raise my arm in that way? I think you can't not be aware that people are going to interpret it like that.
Yeah.
And I've noticed, like, when you look at it from different angles, it looks more blatantly like he's doing it.
He's hailing a particular uncle.
Yeah.
Who might have been incestuous.
But from certain angles, I can see why people are like, oh, he's like throwing his heart. I can see how people think that. But if you're going to raise your arm in that way on a podium in front of a crowd, it's like, it's not a smart move. It's just not, even if that's what he was going for, it's not and I'm not saying that is what he was going for. I have no idea.
Or at least do it with like both hands, because if you do that with both hands,
no one can misinterpret that.
Yeah. It's very hard to like there was a popular meme where, between a certain angle and another certain angle, it was just described as the salute, and so you shouldn't really be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And my mind is just drawn back to that, like, what person educated on Western culture, like, does not instantaneously think,
I shouldn't do that.
Yeah. It's like there was back when me and our co-host were at sixth form college, there was a particular person who would always hail the bus in that way, and we gave her a particular name referring to that.
I see. I was
referring to hailing the bus.
I was struggling to think about who you were talking about, and then I figured out.
And it's just like,
why would you do that?
At very least, it raises serious questions as to your intelligence, because no rational person is going to behave in that manner.
But was Elon Musk thinking, like, given his support for, like, right-wing populist, given his support for Trump, and given his support for, like, right-wing populist movements in Europe, do you think he was actually saying, like, yes, I'm just trying to, like, think, was he thinking in his head, I like Hitler, Hitler was a good person, and I'm not sure whether I should say his name so bluntly like that. I like Uncle Dolphy, and I'm going to salute Uncle Dolphy because he's such a cool guy.
Like, it could be.
Is that what he was trying?
It could be a dog whistle. Like, it could be like, oh, yeah, to all my homies who know, like, I'm on your guys' side.
And I guess, like, you could accuse a certain musical artist of doing similar things.
Yeah, and they have been pictured together within the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, because they do clearly have some contact, like, whether one's behaviour has influenced another.
Well, I was thinking that certain musical artist, it was just an attempt to be sort of edgy. And so maybe it's like a similar, but obviously, like, again, if you're showing fascist symbols, it's like that's a very serious. Like I shouldn't. Like I'm not trying to make. Like I feel like I've been making light of it a bit. I'm not trying to make light of it because like it's a
But I
very
think
serious thing. I think it.
I think that's the kind of world we live in, where, like, at a certain point, we do have to make light of it because we're never going to know the true intentions behind it, and so it's just like, what, you know?
Yeah, it's curious, you know.
It's like laughter because you don't know how to react otherwise.
Yeah, I don't really have any much more to say on the topic. It's just strange.
Harvey Specter, as you introduced yourself earlier, do you have any opinions?
Well, obviously, I'm well versed in the rules of libel and slander, so I'm not going to get involved.
Okay. Thank you, our Specter.
But I feel like it's one of those things where it entirely depends on where you're coming from when you view it. If you're coming from it from the expectation of knowing what you're looking for, I feel like it's quite blatant. But I don't know whether someone that wasn't aware of what it could be construed as would view it that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, people are
But
taking
like-
the angle of like, oh, he's autistic.
But
right. But imagine like you get told like the title of a video is, well, an example is like Elon Musk does 1940s salute.
Yeah.
You look for a 1940s salute.
Yeah, that's the thing.
If the video was called Elon Musk gives his heart out to MAGAs, would you still see it? I don't know.
I think quite possibly, because
I get what you mean, but I also just think, yeah, putting your arm in that way is quite irresponsible. You know, people are gonna construe it that way.
yeah, like just by sheer historical knowledge, which everyone knows what that symbol means. Like,
Yeah.
or if not everyone, the vast majority. And so the vast majority of people who know what that symbol means do not do it, you know?
And this is the thing, like anyone who is sort of engaged in kind of, I guess,
Politics at all.
Well, I more mean just like modern alt-right sort of neo-fascist type things. They'll engage in a lot of plausible deniability, you know.
Yeah.
They'll play these sort of games of dog whistling and then denying and, you know, being very disingenuous quite a lot. It's sort of a big part of the playbook of fascism in a way, is
I just don't understand.
behaving disingenuously.
I don't understand what he would get out of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. I don't know what he seeks to gain. It's very strange.
Because fundamentally, he's a businessman. Why would you cordon yourself off from the vast majority of people by behaving this way? I don't get it.
Perhaps he's just seeing how far he can push the boundary.
But but still, why? Like, what's
It
prompted
doesn't make
this?
any sense.
Fun when you've got that amount of money, like, you know, what else are you going to do but see if you can push the boundary?
When most of your money is still tied up in the value of your companies, why would you tank the value of your companies, or open the door for that to happen? If that
You still have a lot to lose.
Potentially.
It's not like this money is sat in a bank account. It's like, no, this value is derived from the value of Tesla and SpaceX. So
perhaps he genuinely thinks he's immune to backlash. He's in government for at least the next 4 years, assuming he continues to get along well with the current administration.
Well, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, he's got so much money. Like, even if it is tied up with stocks and shares, I can't imagine they're doing poorly because of the election result. Perhaps he's just like, I have, to quote Emperor Palpatine, unlimited power. So Why not? Why not just do things that are blatantly
Well, I
immoral?
think he could damage the reputation of Tesla and SpaceX based on his actions, though.
More so than he already has?
Well, I think he has before. He's damaged. I can't remember what it was that he did, but it was something.
Smoke weed.
Yeah, it was that, and that damaged like Tesla's share price and stuff.
Or when he said he was going to accept Bitcoin.
Yeah, and that has damaged him before, so it's just very strange.
I think it's at the point where everyone who had moral scruples with him has divested from his companies, and now as long as number go up, then investors don't care.
But he's the richest man on the planet. I highly doubt that's the case.
Don't know. It's a very bizarre scenario, and I like his entire turn into politics is quite bizarre, if you ask me.
I just think he went on 4chan and was like, "Oh, this is cool."
Maybe. Maybe he just loves Edge. Maybe he is Audi Edge.
I just think I'm gonna be honest. I just find him a really boring person.
He's not that interesting when he says something, really.
I think he's a very punchable person. Personally,
He's not as interesting as his image. I think there's a big discrepancy.
I like how he pays for people to level up his characters for him in Path of Exile 2, wherever it was he was doing.
Oh, but it's doing some illegal video game thing.
It's not illegal. I think it's just more like.
Well, isn't it against their terms of service to bot or account share or stuff?
I don't know, because it's a free-to-play game, so they probably don't care.
Oh, I don't know then. But
botting isn't illegal, by the way.
Well, no, but it's against the video game. The
TOS.
The gamer code.
Yeah.
The gamer rules.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that actually, I think this poses a good question. As TD is not a gamer, do you have to just abide by the gamer rules?
Or can you break them?
Because surely by abiding to the game rules, you're agreeing that you are a gamer.
I don't know. I don't play Path of Exile 2, you said?
Do you do it out of courtesy for other gamers, maybe? Or, well, people who are...
Is it like when you go abroad and you have to follow that country's rules?
Yeah. When in games, do as the gamers do.
Yeah. That's how...
Fascinating stuff.
But no, I think if there... Lots of, obviously, post Luigi Mangione, lots of talk has been given to political assassinations.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if there was one person who were assassinated, Musk would be the best target to not martyr, because no one actually cares about him. Everyone only cares about his money. Would you?
I think the MAGA people would, turn it into a whole radical left thing.
Well, no, but the MAGA people don't like Musk either. They want all immigrants to stop, but Musk wants all immigrants not to stop because they starve some of his companies.
I think TD just made a call for violence there.
Well, no.
But
I disagree.
But Musk has shown his support for anti-immigration movements throughout the globe. So I feel like.
But then, behind the scenes, pushed for at least to some extent pro-immigration doctrine. Quite a contrarian, isn't he?
Well, I don't think that. Do you believe that he's pushing for pro-immigration doctrine?
You said the bad word.
I'll censor it.
You said the bad word. Take the time code down.
Okay.
Why can't we say his name?
Because we all agreed to this.
I feel like in the next 4 years, TD.
Right? Okay, this entire
okay.
section is being
Now
edited.
Now I've got to cancel it.
Okay, but do you not think in the next 4 years you're probably going to have to say his name at some point?
No. We've already come up with solutions in the past 2 episodes. I think we should just keep it going.
I think, TD, that you're just in denial.
No, it's funny. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny.
Funny? I'm not
I find it
sure.
funny.
Well,
Well, look, as objectively the funniest person on the planet,
I'm
I
going
don't
to.
I don't think you are. I think that's very assumptive.
well, yeah, and the facts don't care about your feelings, Mr.
I think
Clark,
this
and the
particular
fact is you're...
discussion will end up, going in circles. So I'm going to take the reins here.
To be fair, I think we should cut since 1:30 to this bit because it just goes off the.
We'll
rails.
see. I will labour to see what I can do in editing. But
okay, right.
I think,
so, do you want me to introduce my surprise topic now?
Yes. Well, I've got about 15 minutes.
Okay. Well, it will have to be a pretty speedy surprise topic.
So if I can spare about 15 minutes for the surprise topic.
Okay, so my surprise topic begins with like a question, right?
Okay.
Or a scenario. So imagine that you are, taking a nice walk, and then you come across a pond.
Okay, I'm
right?
Curious where you're going with this.
And all of a sudden, you discover in this pond, there's some child who's just randomly drowning, right?
This is the strangest surprise topic yet, just saying.
I'm
keep
going
on your train of thought.
Right, you come across this drowning child, right? There's no one else around. You are the only person who can save this child from drowning.
Yeah.
Do you save the child, right?
So there's a child drowning. There's a child drowning in front of me.
Yep.
And I'm the only one that can save them.
Yep.
I mean, if there was no threat to my life, then I guess I would.
Say this again. So there
is a child who is drowning in like a pond or whatever.
Mm.
We'll say for this example that you're a strong swimmer, you can rescue the child, and the only damage to you will be to like your clothes will get wet, you might get a bit muddy, and
right.
You'll be a bit out of breath, but you can successfully save this child.
Okay. I mean, you've not presented any parameters in that, there's any real effect to me.
No, there's no effect to you.
Someone's life.
Other than you save this child.
Well, I wouldn't really want to watch a child die.
Well, you can walk away. You can walk away.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want a child to die. I would be thinking about that for a while.
Right. Okay. So you save the child, right?
I guess so. Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. I would save the child.
Right. Okay. So now imagine scenario 2. Let's say your name is Andrew and you've got a Bugatti sports car, right?
Right.
You're a bit of a silly boy, and you haven't insured your Bugatti car, right? And God damn it, there's a child on the road.
Right.
Now, you can either crash your car that will not damage you in any way, you'll still be fine, and the child will be fine, or you keep going, but you will kill the child. What do you do in this scenario?
I mean,
easy, kill the child.
I would crash my car because I don't think Bugatti is worth a life.
Decrease the surplus population.
Right.
So you see, the room is split.
Okay. So, but based on the same the same reaction to the first one, would you agree that if it is in our power to prevent something very bad from happening, and we can do so at little cost to ourselves, we ought morally to do so?
Depends what it is.
Depends. I think it depends what it is, and it depends how much. Well, it's just that. It's like you were like, oh well, there's no like downside to us. You know, we have the resources available to us to do this good thing. You know, I think we should always put ourselves first, but because I think I know where you're going with this. We should. I think we should always put ourselves first. We shouldn't put ourselves in danger. But yes,
Right.
if there's no great cost to us, then I agree. It's a good thing to help, I guess. Yeah. Don't disagree with that.
Right. So then we, within our position of global privilege,
Mm-hmm.
even us, um, Clark, you're not included because you're not broke uni student anymore. But even us as broke uni students have, to some extent, some kind of luxurious life, especially compared to, not only people who are disadvantaged within our own political sphere, but also to, these, especially to these areas where the majority of the population lives below the poverty line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, worldwide, the life
yeah.
that I am able to lead is it's not. It's not something. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it's something to be taken for granted. Absolutely not.
So if we were to, cut back and not buy Starbucks coffee for a few weeks and instead give that money to causes that, help these people who are so far below us in terms of quality of life, should we not therefore do so?
So what you talking about charity?
Yeah, charity. Some, like, as individuals, just supporting people who do have such a lower quality of life.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only thing with charities though is that people like to think that, oh yeah, my money is like directly going to this cause, you know. But I think when you give your money to a charity, it's important to remember that you don't really know what the charity's doing with it per se.
Okay, yeah,
This is true.
that is a valid argument.
Like
How do you know your aid isn't going to Idi Amin?
like yeah, no,
Because Idi Amin's been dead.
like you know, it's not you using your. I think what I was trying to say, like, it's not you using your money directly. Like you're putting it into a pool, and you know you don't know what's going to go to administration fees, for example, or you don't know
Okay.
whether it's directly going to help someone. That's kind of the problem with, I think, charity. I would never donation shame someone who was giving to charity, but I do think that's it's not, you can't be sure that your money is directly going to a cause.
Okay, but let's say that there is a ideal, an academic ideal of you can give this money to directly to aid these people. Would it not therefore be somewhat unethical for us, and especially, those who do have a far greater disposable income than ourselves, to do so?
Well, I do think there's an element though of like out of sight, out of mind. Because the example that you like just, well, I'm not saying that this makes doing nothing necessarily moral, but the thing that you proposed is like, oh, a child drowning right in front of you, like right in front of your face. but
Right.
this
That has
is
an immediacy.
that has like a sense. Yeah, that has a sense of being right in front of you and being very immediate. Whereas something happening very far away from you, like it or not, I'm not saying it's right, but there is a sense of detachment from it. But
Yeah.
There's a lot of
But
terrible things going on in the world right now. The human brain you can't really function as a human being if you think about that all day, every day.
yeah, it would probably utterly destroy your
you.
mental health.
Yeah, exactly.
But like this isn't an argument against a good proportion being used to help, though a good proportion of your income being used to help those. It's just like an explanation as to why it doesn't happen as such.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I'm saying. It's like I think a lot of people, well, I think it's just an unconscious bias thing. Like people are more inclined to do something about a problem immediately in front of them, as opposed to something that doesn't, like even if it doesn't affect them directly, like if it's happening right in front of you, I think you're going to care more about it inherently. I'm not saying that's how people should think about things. I think it is a very good thing to care about things going on that have no immediate impact towards you. I think that's a very virtuous way to think, but I don't know, it's just I think the human brain does tend to
think on more of a local scale.
Yeah, I would say.
Would you say that even yours does? Because obviously you are quite a well-traveled person. You've lived outside your home country for a year, But
I think more about things happening. Maybe I do more than the average person, but I still think that I would feel a lot more emotion about something that happened directly in front of me versus something that happened versus something that I don't have first-hand experience of. Not that there aren't things going on in the world that I care about and I think are really important, like I do, but I do think, even I would probably feel more emotion towards something that happened right in front of me because I can see it with my eyes.
Because it's like that this entire scenario was set out to me on, I think, like my first week back at uni, this semester, term, whatever you care to call it, and it was just like it made me sit and think, and I've obviously sat and
thought about it.
Je ne parle pas anglais. Sat and thought about it quite a bit because with the position of privilege that we all have by can I morally justify spending money on things that aren't strictly necessary when I know that this money could, well, in an ideal scenario, we've discussed the issue with charity, but could in an ideal scenario go and support people and potentially save lives.
I don't think that makes you living the life that you want to live, though, immoral. Though. But still, I think that if you are a virtuous person to the point where you care about something that doesn't directly affect you, and you would even financially support that cause, I think that's a very good thing.
But would you say that there is a level of wealth where above it, if you do not contribute to the betterment of your fellow human, that does make you immoral?
I mean, I don't know where you would draw that line, to be honest.
Forget actually drawing the line, but do you think that it does to some extent exist?
I mean, those kinds of people have a much easier time. Those kinds of people would have a much easier time helping those causes than I could. But, you know, I don't know these people as people. I don't know what their moral convictions are. Like I don't know them personally. I don't know if they're good people or not.
Well, yeah.
Is it less about how much you contribute and more the thought?
What percentage?
Well, not even percentage, but the thought. You know, like just the fact that you thought about it and did something good. Surely that matters more than the percentage. Maybe I don't know.
To me, it's just, you know, when we discuss, especially the ultra wealthy, when you see these like ads and whatever that are quite generally described as guilt trippy, of like, oh, only giving like £1 or whatever can feed a family for like a day, you know, and you look at these people's net worth, and I know, as we discussed earlier, like some of it's tied up in stocks and they can sell all of it, but they've got to have
majority of it.
They've got to have at least millions outside of stocks, you know, and especially when you consider the worth of private jets and the amount of money that gets spent, like on fuel maintenance, like the pilots, the insurance, like surely, especially when it comes to these people who have private jets, if they spent that money on directly helping people either out of poverty or just feeding them so that, you know, these people can try and work their way up themselves out of such a dire strait, like, it does lead me to think that there is a certain level of wealth where once you get above it, you are behaving unethically, no matter how you have accrued that wealth.
I don't think in an economy you can really draw that line, though. Like, I don't think we should say, oh, you can't earn any more money than this, because then it's like, how do you enforce that, and how can you morally say one point is too much compared to another point, because it's all very relative, isn't it? Right. That's a different that's a different argument to what you think of these people as human beings, though. I don't know these people personally.
Yeah, like the problem is it's not possible to enforce, not really. But like when you've got people with over a billion pounds or dollars, or, you know, whichever stable, sensible currency you care to consider, like, these people are clearly,
well, they've got much. I will say it's definitely true. They have much more means to help people than you or I do. That's certainly true.
But the vast majority of these people, that we know of at least, don't. You know?
I don't think that's true.
No?
I mean, I remember I heard during the pandemic that, again, I'm not defending these people per se, but, you know, Jeff Bezos like donated millions to COVID research, and I think that Zuckerberg has donated a lot. You know, I'm not saying that I agree with all of their actions and them as people, but compared to the average person, that's still a lot of money. I don't know what the statistics are of how much the super rich donate, but I certainly agree that those very successful people have much more means to help people than the average person.
Yeah. But even the average Westerner, using that term loosely, or even the average person who, you know, owns a house, what we would describe as like middle class in this country, like generally has the disposable income that they could donate to
Well, I think
causes.
again, it's all relative. I think that maybe everyone should. I mean, I don't think you're a bad person for not doing it makes you a bad person, but it's very virtuous for someone to do something, say donate a certain majority like percentage of what they have, depending on, and that can scale up or down depending on how wealthy you are, because that is a lot to some people and not so much to others, I think. I don't know, it's quite a moral discussion, really.
Yeah, because because
I think
yep.
if you've worked and expended your time to earn money, you shouldn't be judged for how you choose to then spend it. If you choose to spend it on other people or on yourself, I think the two are both perfectly valid in and of themselves.
But it is true that someone
unless as was just pointed out to me, unless you spend it all on Temu.
True.
But by participating in, spending all of your money on yourself, are you not, by your inaction, letting people starve? Indirectly, obviously, but due to your inaction, is it not the case? How do you justify that position?
Because you're saying there is a direct correlation between you not giving money and someone starving, and I'm saying, well, that's not necessarily the case.
And why would you say that's not necessarily the case?
Because I can give money and buy someone a meal. That's one meal.
Right.
If their socioeconomic and environmental situation doesn't change, all I'm doing is artificially enabling a situation which isn't actually was going to fix that issue.
But if these people,
is it?
Well, you artificially, providing them sustenance might allow a change in situation.
I'm running out of time a bit here.
Okay, we can.
I would. This is an interesting discussion.
Yeah,
but I am sort of running out of time to discuss it.
Okay, shall we call it for this week?
Yeah,
and I'll do the outro, and then we can pick it up next week.
I would like to continue that discussion, maybe a bit more armed with a bit more facts on the matter. To be honest,
yeah, I can do
but
more of my readings.
To sum up my thoughts is look, I think the thing about capitalism is the thing with capitalism is it's a system based on you providing something, and you get back what you get back what you've provided, in a way, right? Economically. And the wealth that you have, whether or not we should judge someone with lots of wealth for not using it to help people, I'm not sure. But anyone using any amount of wealth to help someone is a virtuous thing, in my opinion. And I think it should never be viewed cynically. That's kind of my final thoughts for now. Feel free to outro.
Yeah, I will outro. Thank you for listening to the first cliffhanger episode of the Hen and Friends podcast. I hope you've enjoyed our various discussions. I have been TD.
I've been the Hen one.
And Mr. Respecter.
I've been Meghan Markle.
Oh, I thought you were our Respecter. But okay. So I'm gonna outro. Peace. Poo gaming, poo gaming, poo gaming, poo gaming, poo gaming, poo gaming, poo gaming.